Hello, Stockholm. I'm very happy to be here. In theory, yes, great. So I'm Lize. I'm an AI transition specialist at consulting company OpenTide. I'm also head of the AI task force in a Swiss bioinformatics company, and I'm also a core collaborator and a public face of LangChain4j, of which you may have heard. So how did I end up here? About a year ago, I was presenting in my company to all our developers that maybe we should start leveraging AI for our internal processes. And after my talk, somebody comes up to me, super enthusiastic, like, yes, that's it. That's absolutely, it's the future. And that person was our new colleague, Dmytro Liobarsky, who just a couple of days before started writing the LangChain4j library. And what he told me there that day got my head turning and got me see the possibilities of where we will go with AI and what we can do. And I have a little confession to make. Since that day, very often I wake up in the middle of the night. I've been trying to hide this from my partner, and then I just sneak to the toilet because I have ideas, and then I sit there and I write them down. I email them to myself. I write them all over my to-do list. Because with AI, so many things became possible that before we couldn't. And if you have like a bit of a problem-solving mind, it just goes on, it goes on, it goes on. So this is what my inbox looks like, and my to-do list is 10 times worse. So you may wonder now, why am I not thinking rich now on the Bahamas with a nanny taking care of my kids and a cocktail in my hand? Well, it's because of this. I may have so many ideas, but in order to make them, I need a front end, and that's really not my thing. But I'm nonetheless happy that of all these ideas, we managed to make one happen. It is a couple therapist that I will quickly demo. Just to give you a feel of what you can do with AI, right? And CSS that they are not that bad in the end, right? So how should we call me? That's Lize. What's the issue I want help with? Well, my boyfriend gets super offended when I bash IntelliJ. What I like about him, well, he's kind, he's caring, and he's a great programmer. And how I hope to feel once this problem is solved, I would like to laugh together about crappy software without people picking a fight. So now I can give him my partner's name. I'm going to call him Juju. And I want to make this a pair session. Now I can send him this link, and so he can fill it out too. And I will fill it out for him today. And it's my problem is that my girlfriend makes deprecating jokes all the time. She's mean. What he likes about me, well, she's tall, tall, and tall. And how does he hope to feel? Well, he wants a kinder girlfriend, right? So what happens in the meantime? Lize, got my advice coming out of ChatGPT. We need some formatting here still. So what does it tell me? It's common for couples to have different preferences and opinions about seemingly trivial things like software. He may have strong emotional attachment to IntelliJ due to his significance in his programming career. It's all very interesting. And Juju also got his advice. And then we also have joint advice, because it now knows both of our problems. And let's see what it says. It appears to make Juju's feelings heard when I make the jokes. It's about communication style, and the sense of humor can vary. And then, I mean, it also offers a lot of solutions. Now, it's just a little funny program that we made here. But I just want to take this little moment to remind us, it looks like a wrapper around ChatGPT, and it kind of is. But 2 years from now back, this was absolutely impossible. to have this natural language conversation with a machine that actually knows something about psychology and helps you solve your problems. And that's what's so cool about AI. Usually, people in history, they have problems, and they search solutions for them. Whereas, let's get this running. So with AI, it's actually kind of the opposite. We got this great solution for so many problems, and we're only starting to discover what we can solve with it. It's exciting times to live. So today I want you to take you on an adventure, starting with what is already possible today. What does that mean for us as developers? What does it mean for our businesses? And where are we heading with all this? So let's start with what we already have today. I just got a sample of the things that I find coolest. Who of you already tried to get a diagram out of ChatGPT or out of Midjourney? That's not that many people. And I think I know how it went. It looks awesome, right? But then when you have a bit of a better look, there, left bottom, you see something sprain backlog. I think it's a mix between sprint and pain, which is quite accurate, but it's not what I intended, right? And then worse on the right side down, there's something that seems a bit too much like squirt review. I don't want to be seen presenting that in my company. But very recently, ChatGPT added GPTs. And there you can kind of very easily program things into ChatGPT. So if you go there, you have Explore GPTs. I typed diagram. I asked, give me a flowchart of when to use duct tape and when to use W40. And it came up with this. That's way better. And the best thing, it said, edit code. I clicked it. It's mermaid. I can just change this diagram. So our diagram problems are basically solved. And if you ask it for timelines or something, it comes with fancy colors and everything. What else is possible today? This is Lumiere, made by Google Research. Just have a look. You take this reference image of the mushroom, and you ask a galloping horse. It made me think of Frozen. I've seen the making of Frozen because I have kids, and also because I find it very nice myself. It took them a whole week just to make Elsa do this little run up the hill there, and to have that somewhat smooth. And it was without clothes, without hair, without lighting, without anything. And then you see this, and you just think, we're going to get great movies in the future, and also a lot of people are going to be out of job. This is AlphaFold. It's been around a little longer, but it's really a game changer for drug development because it predicts how larger molecules will fold. And the new generation drugs are all about larger molecules that give less side effects, that target diseases way better. And if you don't need an X-ray crystallography to figure this out, but you can just run AlphaFold, it saves you plenty of time. And it's as accurate. Also from Google Research, they made a medical diagnostic tool, Amy, that's powered by AI, and it outperforms real doctors in basically every field, including empathy. So a machine outperforms doctors in empathy, which may not be that surprising for doctors, but I mean still, like this was unthought of 2-3 years ago. Very interestingly, these are the results in diagnostic accuracy, like which disease or which problem they actually have, and red on top is Amy alone. Yellow below is Amy with a doctor. So next time I go to the doctor, I'm like, please leave the room, let me talk to Amy, right? And then blue down there, like doing half as good as your doctor alone. And I hugely respect for doctors, but this is a game changer, right? To make medicine affordable to everybody, and then actually to save these real doctors' resources for the people that really need one, while Amy does the pre-screening, for example. This is a weeding robot that uses visual recognition to see which of the crops are bad, and then it shoots them with a laser. So I don't know what makes you laugh, because I find it awesome, because you will not need all these herbicides anymore. So that's just super great for the future of agriculture and for our environment. And this one is a robot from Figure AI, and it can make you a cup of coffee. That's a great accomplishment. But what is so interesting is how it learned to make this cup of coffee. They just gave it 10 hours of video recordings of humans making coffee, and then it could do it. I mean, it failed a couple of times, it learned from its own mistakes, and now it can put your cup of coffee. So you can virtually teach it anything now. So all these fancy stuff, we don't really have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis as developers. What does it mean for us, right? So who of you is using an AI assistant when coding? GitHub Copilot, IntelliJ? I'd say that's not even half of the room. That's interesting. I hope you guys are going to get there. You also have similar thing for SQL models, just so you know, in case you want to extend your toolbox. That's already working today, and it's working quite well. These AI assistants, they report anything between 10 to 50% efficiency increase while coding. So where is this going to go? We already see things emerging where people try to set up feedback on the process and have different reviewer profiles. For example, I'm afraid that my AI wrote something that has security bugs in this. Well, you let an AI check if the security is fine, like that. So for example, Swisscom made this pull request agent that will do a first review of your pull requests, write a comment, give you some feedback. Check it out, it's open source. They took it a step further, and they made a full virtual software company that were some researchers, they thought, why don't we build a software company with all the roles in there, product manager, tester, developer, users, and we just let them talk to each other and figure it out. We give them a spec, and let's go. And this virtual software company was able to make 85% of its assignments build it correctly and come up with correct software. I do not know how complex the questions were, though. And so my feeling is that in a couple of years from now, I'm sorry to shock you, there will be not much code anymore, and AI will figure it out from the tech specs and take it from there. And yes, we will probably be in the loop to review, because somebody needs to be responsible. But I think we will be busy solving other problems than just coding. How will AI influence what we build, and how is it already influencing this? This was a nice idea of somebody from Red Hat who said, like, I don't think we are all data engineers and software developers. I just wanted to ask you a question. Who in the room has already trained a model? So not used, but trained. Yeah, a couple of hands. Who has already built something on top of a model? Made a little app with it? Oh, that's even less hands. OK, I think we are developers and not data scientists. So there will be this different cycle of training your model, collecting your data set, curating it, fine-tuning it. And then we as developers, we will build on top of that. We will just use it as an API, as just another tool in our toolbox that we call, without caring how the model works and how it is trained. One of the examples of how you can use models actually as an API is LangChain4j, which I will be presenting more in depth in this room at 2 o'clock. And then there's plenty of other talks during these Jfokus days of people that also showcase other tools. There was a talk, AI from the trenches, and that's also sometimes the feeling I get when you try to make it do what you want. But I'm happy to give you already a very short LangChain4j demo. So to get talking to a model in LangChain4j, it's as easy as you make a chat language model. We choose an OpenAI one. We put our key in there. We set a timeout, just because we can. You can set so many more parameters, but they are set to default. If you do just this, this will work. You have a model that you can talk to. And one of the features of LangChain4j that I love is that you can get back Java objects, real Java objects, in a very easy way. So let's have a look here. What we will want to get back is a sentiment. It's an enum. We have positive, neutral, negative. That's what we want to get back. And then we want a little tool that analyzes sentiments and has two methods. Analyze the sentiment of some text, and we want it to return the sentiment enum here. And then an is positive that will return a Boolean. This is actually all we program, and it's not really programming anymore. It's more telling the model what to do. LangChain4j really wraps this up really nicely. The only thing you need to do now is to build your sentiment analyzer object by calling our AI service, giving it this class, the interface that we just defined, and then giving it a model. And that's it, we can start using it. So what we will then do is we will try to analyze the sentiment of this little phrase here, which for extra impressiveness, I've put in French, because it works in any language anyway. C'était incroyable, tellement beau, which means it was unbelievable, it was so beautiful. We want to get the sentiment of that. And then we want a bool, say, is this positive? C'est vraiment horrible, on ne peut pas s'imaginer, like it's horrible beyond imagination. Now, that's it. And if I run this, it's going to OpenAI API. It calls GPT 3.5 in the background. And so we are printing our stuff. Voila, the first one is positive, and the other one is Boolean false. So we just got Java objects out of our LLM. One that's even nicer, the horrible problem we all facing, date and time objects. So we have here a date-time extractor with methods extract date, extract time, and extract datetime. We want these local time and companions. We just built it like this, again with these AI services, giving the model and our interface that we defined. And then we want to get the date and time out of this one. The tranquility pervaded the evening of 1968, just 15 minutes shy of midnight, following the celebrations of Independence Day. And let's see if it manages to get correct dates and times as Java objects out of this. So you see it has a little latency when you have to talk to an LLM. But there we go. Here we go, date-time objects out of that crazy phrase. And it's correct. And it was this is unthinkable, right, a year ago. So we can start programming on top of that. And I want to show you another short demo of a little tool that I made with LangChain4j and Quarkus. It's a customer assistant, and it knows our terms of use. So it will speak to the customer and present really our company. And what it also has is tools. We gave it the tools to get Booking details and to cancel a booking, which in the background go to your database. Watch out for prompt injection when you do these things. But it knows what bookings we have. It knows which arguments it will need to call this function get booking details. Like it will need a booking number, a customer name, and a customer surname. And the model is smart enough to know, oh, I have these tools available. The user asked me to cancel a booking. Well, I'll get his booking details first. I will need booking number, customer name, surname. It will ask you until it has all the information. Then it will call the method, and it will be able to interpret the result. And that's also why you see here this booking cannot be cancelled exception and a booking cannot be found exception, because the model reads this and understands. And here in Beans, we have all the infrastructure to deal with our terms of use. So therefore, we use an embedding store where we chunk up our terms of use. You can do this for huge data, right? You chunk it up in little pieces. You kind of embed the meaning. You store the meaning in a vector that represents this meaning. And afterwards, when the customer asks a question, you're going to retrieve pieces that have a similar meaning as this question. And that's how you find the relevant parts for your question. And you give them to the model. You say you have these tools. You can cancel the booking. You can get the booking details. And here is some information from our terms of use that might be relevant to this question. And let's see what it does with that. So I'm talking to my customer assistant. Hi, I want to cancel my booking. So the model will now get probably the parts of our terms of use where it says what is needed to cancel my booking. And it will know that it has these tools if it wants. Let me refresh. All right, I don't think it's going to be for today. I think they're taking a coffee break. There we go. OK, sorry for the delay. Sure, I can help you with that. Can you please provide me with your booking number, customer name, and surname, so it knows it needs them? So my name is Klaus. We took a great example here. Klaus Heisler. I forget my booking number on purpose, just to see. All right, thank you for providing your name. Can you also provide me with your booking number? OK, it's I'm writing a wrong one, just to see how it handles the errors. So it's getting this booking now. It gets this booking not found exception, and it says, yeah, something is off. Please double check the booking number and ensure that it's accurate. So, oh, oops. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it should be able to retrieve it and tell me that I cannot cancel my booking because I'm actually too late. Yes, I'm sorry, but according to our cancellation policy, bookings with a duration of less than 3 days are not eligible for cancellation. So it's unable to cancel our booking, which is correct, which is very nice. And the nice thing about these AI chatbots is that, like, I'm sad now. Can you console me by flattering? It takes a bit more time when it has more to output, so I'm expecting something great to come my way. Something very great. Please. Oh, good, there we go. Can understand that it can be disappointed. Right. It's not so flattering. OK, I would type do better if I was not presenting here. I will continue with my presentation. Right, something else that's possible already today, and that's interesting for us developers to know, is multimodality. So we have models that are able to convert from image to text descriptions, from audio to text scripts, from video to text, either describing what's happening in the video or what's said there. And then you have the inverse, from text to image, from text to video, from text to audio. It's already there, and you can chain this all together in really cool ways. And it's not just image, video, and audio, which are kind of the obvious ones, but there's all kind of aspects of life that we can predict with models. For example, this is depth anything. It's an open source model that will just, by looking at the video, give you the depth of all the parts in this image. Another place where I think we developers will see a lot of change and have to make a lot of changes, the user experience. I just want to remind us where we are at today in 2024. Just made it this standard. You have to fill in your birth date, your nationality, your everything in a form. We all hate it. And it works like this these days. Like, they had the great ID. I'm born in 1989, yes. Right, and I'm happy I'm not older than that. And then, there you go, whatever. And my nationality, like, I live in Switzerland. Do you guys see me coming? What will I do when I want to go to Switzerland? I know I can type one letter. I will type, yes, you guys are developers, right? If I were a normal user that's not a developer, I would want to type S, right? And then what would I want? Maybe to have all these countries with S listed? So instead, as you all know, it's not at all listing all these countries with S. And I'm like, really? So this is my guess. I hope we will have at least an alternative AI chatbot that will help us fill out these forms and just ask us what it really needs to know. Not all these, like, if you answered yes on this question, then skip this or go through, like, chatbot will just know, OK, you are Swiss, well, then we need this information from you. And you can do it in your own language, also in your own level, right? Because a lot of tools are really hard for normal people or older people to access because they don't have this digital knowledge to get around all these forms, and a chatbot can really help with that and make it way more inclusive. All right, what does it mean for your business, this AI transition? So there's a couple of things you can do for your internal processes. It's give your employees some general tool, a good one like ChatGPT. It's proven with writing jobs. It makes people over 30% faster, and it improves the quality. For knowledge jobs, McKinsey studied that knowledge workers spend 20% of their time, which is a whole day a week, just searching. So this helps tremendously. The other thing is get a coding assistant. What's coming are these things like Microsoft Copilot, not to be confused with GitHub Copilot, but a Microsoft Copilot and Google Duet. They are tools that look at all your documents together, and that will actually present you a possible slideshow for your Word document combined with your emails or something. It might make us even so much more productive. And then there's all these multimedia tools for your marketing, for example, or very specific to your business. So that's for internal processes. When you want to start using it in your product, I just want to warn you, this is an example of prompt injection. Somebody managed to convince a chatbot of a car dealer to sell him a car for $1. And then also to say that it was legally binding multiple times. So in the end, it was legally binding. And then they got the chatbot offline. So yeah, be careful. It's a talk on itself, how to prevent all these things. There's quite some caveats there. But if you want it in your product, typically, I see it going towards a better user experience and customer assistance. If you have big chunks of data, especially unstructured data, you can use AI to make sense out of it. And you can process huge amount of feedback with AI. You just let it categorize it, and you're kind of done, and like, give me the main points. And then, depending on your business, there are so many solutions possible. If you know well enough what AI can do, and if you know your business well enough, you put 2 and 2 together, and you see where you can move forward with your company if you want to. I would say go in small steps, make some proof of concept first to gain experience. Go for the low-hanging fruit. But if you have a great idea that overthrows your company or you need to start a startup, also go for it. I want to share some success stories. So there's Netflix that used AI to kind of study its customers and to propose better tailored content. And it's great for Netflix. I'm not sure if it's great for the world if people get more addicted to Netflix, but at least from a business perspective, this is a good job. This is Adobe that added Firefly to Photoshop. It's basically AI-enhanced Photoshop. Looks really nice. PayPal is using AI to real-time observe cybersecurity and analyze logs. It's already proven that AI does a better job than human algorithms on checking fraudulent behavior in logs. And then this is a bit more home for me. Today's drugs, these are very large molecules. So what we do is antibody engineering to make it fit certain types of cancer. And there's just, as you can see, there's a lot of molecules, way more than in like the little aspirin. These are thousands of molecules altogether. And so there's a lot of options there to try out, a lot of combinations to check, and then you have to test all of these combinations against all kinds of pathogens and potential side effects and how they react at heat and everything. That's when you see this high-throughput screening. It's mixing all our potential drug candidates with all of testing substances. And then you need to analyze them. And there already, for example, this gene data solution gives you image classification so that it's not a lab physician that has to look at all single well on that plate with a microscope. So that's already automated. They're working on full lab automation, where it's not just putting in the plates that happens automatically, but it also starts carrying around the plates and basically doing your whole medical experiment by a robot. So the potential for AI in there is huge. Like, you can basically let AI analyze your whole results and say, we should change this, like make a new set of combinations and put them to test again, all by itself. I find that amazing. So where are we heading as a society and as developers? So I was hoping for this. because AI is taking over our jobs, right? But all other times in history, we had something like that's happening now, a big revolution. We had this plow, and we would think, well, people worked all in agriculture back then to get them fed, and then we invented this so we could do more with less people, so people could take a chill, but it didn't happen. Then came the steam engine, so we didn't have to spend hours and days weaving a t-shirt anymore, so we could chill, but it didn't happen. We're working a bit less, but not much, right? And the work's a bit more pleasant still. But like this 4-hour work week, no. Then came the computer. Again, it didn't save us. So is AI now our savior, and is it gonna get us there? Let's see. So what we see happening now is plenty of layoffs also in the tech sector. Part is due to the economic situation, but part is already due to AI. But at the same moment, we see that these companies, and sometimes these same companies, are hiring within the AI field. And so what we see happening is a skill shift. So they also literally say that when they lay off so many people, we are aligning our workforce with our strategic goals. And those, these days, do include AI a lot. And some things like voice recognition, research centers have become superfluous because AI does voice recognition really, really great. So this is just a reality. And we've seen this happen so many times through history. So you can see when the steam engine was invented, then you see agriculture going down. Before, 70% of people worked in agriculture. Now we're at under 5%. And people started doing other things. So they started manufacturing stuff. But then when things got automated and robotized, manufacturing starts to go down again. And then there's this other category, services, which is quite all-encompassing, which now everybody works in, almost. And then somewhere on the way, we invented the bullshit jobs, right? It's because our economic system works like this. If you want to eat, you need money, kind of, to get bread on your table, and to get money, you need to sell something to somebody. Be it your time, be it your effort, be it a product you make, an ID, whatever, but you need to actually convince somebody that they need you. So and somehow we couldn't step out of this paradigm so far, so it results in things like this. The best minds of my generation are thinking about how to make people click ads, and that sucks. With a great ad for water that comes out of your tap, but in a plastic bottle, because I am what I drink. Just so this is a little unpleasant side effect, but just to say, at the moment, the white circle is what humans can do already today. The black one is the part that machines can take over. But then, very interestingly, the striped part is things that were not possible before, but they become possible with the help of machines, and in this case, with the help of AI. And so it's going to generate way more jobs, way more potential jobs than it's actually going to take. So AI will not steal your job, but somebody using AI will. So if you want to be future ready with your career, just learn how to use and leverage AI, because it's coming and we will not stop it. There's another fear. Like, if I got $1 for everybody that came out to ask me, like, but aren't you afraid when you use GitHub Copilot that we will get dumped and that this new generation of developers, they won't know how to code anymore? Then I answer with another question. Who of you knows what this is? Yeah, good. What is it? Assembly code, indeed. So this was in the 50s. This was the way you would talk to your computer by shifting things around registers. It's way closer to your hardware than we are at now. And the people, when they got this, they were actually happy because they didn't need to program with zeros and ones anymore. So for a decade or so, this was the programming language. It's quite hard to make it do what you want to do. And then came COBOL and Fortran. And how do you think the people that spend a decade of their life getting really good at this, getting all these ins and outs, knowing when it behaves weird, knowing how to optimize, How do they feel when you put a higher level language on top of that? And this new generation managed to do way more than they, without understanding anything of this. It must have hurt. And it's just the same thing happening now. We are adding another way more natural language layer on top of the code we have now. And yes, we will lose details, we will lose this finesse of treating our resources correctly and everything, but it's been going on since forever. Another fear with AI is that it hallucinates a lot, and yes, it does, but hundreds and thousands of engineers are working on these problems, so they are getting solved. There's ways of indicating what is low confidence. There's ways of letting an LLM check if what the LLM said was actually correct. Also, the latency that you've seen, people are working on this. This is going to get faster and faster. It's going to get better and better. So I think AI has a very bright future. Now, where does it put us as developers? Like, we are experts at being lazy. We see something that could be automated, and we're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to write a program that does that. Like, I would be crazy to do it. So we are addicted to automating things. And AI just gave us a way to automate way more parts of our society than we could before. Think about art. Like, the art AI creates, it's incredible. And we would not have thought 2 or 3 years ago that art would be something that that computers could take over. Same thing with empathy. So when we automate all these different parts of society, this really changes our society. Like when we made these online shops, and now we hardly have any little shops anymore in city centers. We did this from behind our computers at home, all cozy, nice, but it has a real impact in how our world looks today. And with AI, it's going to be even more. And that's why I say this comes with a responsibility. And people do look at us developers to see where are all these things going. And we actually have a choice to say, oh, we will just do what we are told to do, or we will just go with the hype. Or we can say, you know what just got possible? We could go there. We could go there. And if people hear it from multiple angles, that actually we can do something, make the world a better place with this, it will stick and we'll get a mainstream ID. By the way, about automation, I was thinking taxes, they deserve a bit of more automation. I like this. My son asked me what taxes are, so I gave him a bag of M&Ms and explained him that he has to give some to me, and I know how much he has to give to me, but he has to guess it himself, and if he's wrong, he goes to prison. That's what taxes are all about, right? So, like, there's some more stuff to automate where we don't even need AI. Let's go for that first. But I want you to ask you, please use your new superpowers for good. And I want to give you some inspiration of what became possible now that's actually nice, a nice thing for society. So we can now quite easily make a private tutor that helps anybody in any language with any material that they're studying, because it will learn what you're not good at. It will explain you over and over again in different ways. It can tailor exercises to what you didn't understand and check if you made the progress. In this way, education and good education becomes available to everybody. So that's actually a big democratizing of education. There's this problem that we have this, ugly, square, gray buildings everywhere. It's really depressing. But then you know that AI can design these gorgeous things. There's already models trained to take architectural structure and stability into account, so you can make really a valid architectural design, and add then 3D printing and add laser cutting, and you don't need people to make all these things anymore. And so beautiful architecture is going to come, it's going to become possible for way more people than it is now. So I'm looking forward to that. For example, you can make a Vision 8 tool for blind people. I hope they're working on it. I hope it's already there, where you just have AI interpret the neighborhood, have Google Maps together, even be able to say, like, the person you're talking to now, they're looking a bit sad, or they're crying, or and there's so many variants of that where you can use AI to make the world more inclusive for people with a disability. And then for democracy, it became so easy to process big chunks of feedback. So why don't we make a kind of chatbot for your citizens where they can just dump their IDs, period, no form. Just tell everything that you like that would need to be done better. If you have a good solution for your neighborhood, dump it in there. And AI can triage this. It can categorize it very easily. It can even come up with the categories that would apply. And then stuff everything in the categories and say, so many people are asking for this. We found this very urgent problem, or we found this thing that is really easy to solve, actually, and a lot of people are asking for it. Why don't we go for it? And it could consult your town council. Just a last one to convince you even more. Altruism is sexy. It's proven. So without further ado, these are the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So this AI solution that was looking for its problems, I just want to read this to you to get your mind working on it. The 193 member states of the United Nations all signed this in 2015 and said we want to obtain that by 2030. Now we're getting close. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, taking care of the life below water and of the life on land, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. Now I hope you will also wake up in the middle of the night and think, how can we match AI to solve these problems? And if somebody wants to get hands-on, in Paris, end of March, there's a hackathon that goes, so do enroll or do send people there if you would like. It's during the KubeCon, Cloud Native Con, and we're going to try to tackle these Sustainable Development Goals from the UN using AI. One last thing before I let you go, it's the power of IDs. So you do have this power to make the future brighter because people are looking at us and our influence is going to grow when we automate yet another part of society. So please just drop IDs at your workplace, with your boss, with your friends, and if they hear it, then first time they will be like, wow, that sounds futuristic. I don't think that's going to work. It never worked. And then they hear it again a week later from some other angle, and they're like, oh, yeah, I heard an ID like that. Yeah, there was this other guy that had an ID to do something similar. And the third time they hear it, it's already like, yeah, that's mainstream. I heard it already from 2 different people. And that's how I hope we can have a little thought about how we want to reorganize our society when actually less work is needed, and then where we want to put our first efforts. Because what I want you to take away from this talk is to be ready for the future. Have a look into AI and how you can use it within your career or within your business. Decide where you want to go. Advocate for that. Go for that. Use your superpowers responsible. Thank you very much for your attention.